And this is Ken Kraetzer in Peekskill for Sons of the American Legion Radio with a good friend of Sons of the American Legion Radio, guest several times, George Daughan, author, scholar, U.S. Air Force veteran of the Vietnam era. And George, good to see you. You're talking about your new book today, Revolution on the Hudson.
Well, it's wonderful to see you and be on your program, Ken. Today I was talking to the National Maritime Historical Society, a great outfit that I've been working with for many years, and a fabulous audience here in Peekskill, New York, at, believe it or not, the Presbyterian Church. First time we've been here. Very enthusiastic, very well-informed audience.
Well, that's great. Now, you were talking about the importance of sea power on the Revolutionary War, as you've written in several books. And certainly, when we're up at West Point, talk about the importance strategically of West Point on the Hudson River. And certainly, the time Benedict Arnold was going to cede it to the British. Why was that such an important moment in the Revolution and the impact of West Point?
Well, it was for a lot of reasons. Number one, Arnold had everybody fooled, including General Washington, who loved him. Washington was a great judge of character, and he misjudged Arnold badly. And Arnold took advantage of Washington's really love for him by trying to get Washington captured by the British. And he came very close to doing it when Washington crossed the Hudson, very, very close to the time when Arnold himself was found out. So he is a incredible relationship between the two of them.
And you talked a little bit today about the strategy of the British Army during the Revolution, and as you said, the King to send an army from Canada and one from New York City to meet in Albany and separate the colonies. Never happened, and you said that today it was really a flawed strategy.
Yes, in 1775, the King got badly defeated in Massachusetts at Lexington and Concord, then in Ticonderoga, then at Bunker Hill, and he decided he didn't have enough of an army here, but he wanted to wrap up the war quickly in 1775. So he decided he would go do the same thing in 1776, but with a much bigger army and navy. And he thought that the way to do it was to invade New York, take New York, and then move his army, a much larger army than he had in 1775, up the Hudson to Albany to meet an army coming down from Canada. And in this way, it would cut off New England, he thought, from the colonies to the south. New England he saw as the hotbed of the Revolution, and he thought the colonies to the south were less rabid revolutionaries. And so if he could cut the country in half this way, this would be a quick way to victory. Quick was very much on his mind.
Absolutely. An important point you mentioned, I think it carries over to certainly the current conflicts, is the importance of local support that the colonists, the Americans, really were supporting the cause of America and not the British. And you felt that was really the key aspect about why America prevailed in the war.
Yes, the American society was much different than English society, and it was hugely successful. It was hugely successful partly because of its relationship to England and all of the good things that they took from England. You have to keep in mind that during the American Revolution, the British were the most advanced country in the world, except for the United States. The United States was an enormously successful group of colonies, and the British were worried about it because of the success. They thought that the tail would start wagging the dog eventually. And this was partly on their mind when they tried to subdue the Patriots in Massachusetts in 1775. They wanted to really remake American society to make it look more like Britain, where a very small number of aristocrats owned all the land and had all the political power. And this really was the basis of the conflict. We were not going to allow that to happen. In Massachusetts, we had a democracy. Everybody in Massachusetts, with very, very few exceptions, could vote except for women and of course for slaves. There were very few slaves. They were not going to give that up and be ruled by a small group of aristocrats.
Absolutely. George Daughan, great to see you here. Thank you for the times you've called in our show on WVOX, on Sons of the American Legion Radio, Revolution on the Hudson. Where's the best place? I imagine you can obtain the book on Amazon.
To purchase my book, you can purchase it anywhere books are sold. Amazon is a place, Barnes and Noble, you name it. It'll be at your local bookstore. Where I like to support independent bookstores, of course, but everywhere books are sold, you can buy my book.
Absolutely. Revolution on the Hudson, a great gift for an upcoming graduate this year. Anyone who's interested in knowing more about the history of our country and the Revolutionary War. George Daughan, great to see you again.
Wonderful to see you, Ken. You do a great job in bringing all these important issues to men and women in the armed forces, and we're very grateful for all the hard work that you do. And you're so darn good at it.
I appreciate that, especially from yourself. We have a great team at the 365,000 members of the Sons of the American Legion serving America's veterans and military in our communities. This is Ken Kraetzer for Sons of the American Legion Radio in Peekskill.